Good evening, everyone. Gina here, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Welcome back to another Monday night check-in. So every single Monday, I share with you guys what I am doing in my recovery group. So I am in recovery for an eating disorder. I have been struggling with a binge and purge disorder for the past 17 years, and I am currently in recovery for it. And I decided that I was going to open this part of my life up, open it up to you guys, because I feel like the best way I can heal and the best way that I can overcome my addiction is sharing it with you guys. And I know that the Lord is calling me to do this because I know the Lord is calling me to share my story with you guys, because I know I am not the only one that is struggling in this specific area. So I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. So every single week I sit down with you guys and I answer the questions that belong in the book that I'm going through. So I'm currently going through The Journey Begins by John Baker. We're in Stepping Out of Denial into God's Grace. So this is the Celebrate Recovery books. You can get these from pastor.com, or you can get them at a Celebrate Recovery location near you. So if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and keep the comment section nice and supportive with everyone, because everyone is going through something different. Not one person has the same struggles, so everyone is dealing with something. So whether if it's minor or major, someone is dealing with something at some point of their life. So this video series is just meant to encourage you guys and maybe help one of you. If I'm helping at least one person, then it's all worthwhile to me. And it keeps me accountable to actually answering these questions and sitting down with you guys on Monday nights and actually talking them out with you guys, because we're all friends here. So it's as if I'm talking to thousands of my friends. So we are currently in the first step. So the first step is to admit we are powerless over our addiction and compulsive behaviors, and that our lives have become unmanageable. So basically meaning your addiction has pretty much taken over your life and you no longer have control over your own life. So that is the first step that we are in. So I'm going to leave all of my other updates below for you guys if you want to get caught up. So we are currently in lesson 2, and I'm just going to pick up where I left off. So just pick up where I left off from last week. So if you guys want to catch up on my other videos, I will have all of them linked below for you guys if you want to start from the beginning. So the fifth question that we are answering is, how has holding on to anger and resentments affected your life? So I am the queen of holding on to anger. I am the queen of holding on to resentment. If someone gives me the wrong look in the grocery store, I'll fester over that for weeks. That's how I have been for a long time. And let me tell you, it's not fun being angry all the time. It's definitely not fun. It's definitely not a way of life I would recommend. So what I have gathered from this question is holding on to anger and resentments wastes a lot of time that I will never get back. So I will never get back the time I was angry at so-and-so, or maybe a friend made me upset, or a family member made me upset. I'm never going to get that time back from being angry at that person, and I'm never going to get back that time that the energy took of me being upset. Because when I get upset, when I get angry, there's a lot of time that's wasted. So something else that I had to ask my husband about earlier today was something that our pastor had said a long time ago, and it was, I can forgive, but doesn't mean I forget. I can forgive someone and not hold on to a grudge, but doesn't mean I forget. So basically, you choose if you want to forgive someone and then move on in a relationship with them and mend the relationship, or you can just forgive someone and then move on and not progress the relationship. So, it's up to you on how you want to proceed with that. But in terms of holding on to your resentment, holding on to your anger, you can let go of your anger, still forgiving someone, but not forgetting what had happened, and keeping yourself, more, what's the word I'm trying to say, guarding your heart a little bit more, or maybe just deciding not to have that particular person in your life. That is totally okay. So growing up, I was not in the best place with my dad in my adolescence, and in my 20s. I'm not going to get into details because that's not my story to share. Well, it is my story to share, but I'm not going to go into detail just out of respect for my dad. And we would get into arguments and I would constantly be resentful towards him, but came a point in my life to where I had to ask myself, all right, do I want to continue a relationship with my dad or not? And the answer was very easy, and it was a yes. And ever since I decided to see it that way, I don't hold on to any resentment anymore. My dad and I have been in a better spot for sure. So the next question is, do you believe that loneliness is a choice? Why or why not? How has your denial isolated you from your important relationships? So, loneliness is absolutely a choice because in the world, there is 7 billion people. So it is kind of impossible for you to be lonely in the world because there is billions of people in the world. However, I do feel like an individual person can have themselves feel lonely for sure. Like, you hear it all the time. I feel lonely in a crowded room. Like, that is totally a thing. For me, I struggle with depression, and something that happens to me is I will tend to just flee to my bedroom and like binge watch a show or movies, and I will completely isolate myself from Chris. I'll isolate myself from the kids. I'll isolate myself from friends, and I will just want to be by myself. And that's me deciding that. And, you know, Chris is always willing to, hey, you want to watch a movie? You want to spend time together? And I'm always the one like, no, like I want to be by myself. And I feel like choosing to isolate myself has affected my relationship with Chris because he shared with me that when I isolate, he doesn't feel wanted. So I'm needing to, you know, unwrap these character defects of mine and habits of mine that are not necessarily good habits. And going through this step study is really like starting to unravel all of these layers to me, whether if they're good or bad. So I am finding out some amazing things about myself, but I'm also finding out some things that are not so great. And I have a list of things that I am diligently trying to work on with myself. So, yeah. So number 7 is describe the emptiness you feel and some ways you are finding to fill it. So I no longer feel this way anymore because I have given my life to Christ, and I distinctly remember the day in church. It was less than a year ago. Like, this was very recent. And I had been through the ringer with some friendships over the summertime. And when I got myself in the sanctuary, like, I just felt so calm. I felt so at peace, and I knew that the church was where I needed to be. And since the summer, that's when my faith has started to grow. So I think that this year I've opened my Bible and I have started reading the Word. I seek fellowship with my small group. I have also kind of cut down my circle of friends in terms of who I have in like my core group of friends, and I am not an oversharer anymore like I used to be. Well, I'm kind of oversharing by sharing this with you guys, but in terms of like social media or whatever, like I used to be a complete oversharer. Well, I would just like hop to social media anytime something bad was happening. So I feel like now I more turn towards God, and I turn more towards Chris in terms of like walking through some struggles I'm going through, or some of my closest friends. So the next question is selfishness at the heart of most problems. Selfishness is at the heart of most problems between people. In what areas of your life have you been selfish? And for me, something that I found really interesting about these questions is they kind of like gravitated towards the other way of recovery in terms of my food issues. And it's more like getting to the core of like who Gina is, how Gina has acted, and whatnot. So for me, I've been the most selfish with money spent on myself for sure. My love language is presents. I love presents. I love getting presents. I mean, Chris started this out in our relationship. Like, one of our first dates, like when we were dating, we were still in the dating phase. I think we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, but what he did is he took me to the Hollywood by Universal Studios. It's a city walk. If you're local to Hollywood, you know what I'm talking about. And he hid these stickers across the city walk, and every sticker I found, I got a present. So we went back to his car, and he had a trunk full of presents. So even in the dating stage, like, he knew my love language, and he like set the bar. So it's like every holiday, my birthday, Valentine's Day, you name it, Flag Day, any holiday, like, he would just overwhelm me with gifts. And I just love presents so much. But I do feel like there has been numerous occasions where I've pressured him into getting me gifts, getting me things, and to spend money that we really shouldn't have been spending, money we really didn't have. Well, we did have the money, but it was money that could have been spent on something else. Like it could have been spent on, I don't know, getting a new piece of furniture for the house or going on a vacation or whatever it is. And I think that in that aspect, I have been really selfish with my family in terms of that. So I'm really trying to not be so focused on stuff. I'm trying to not be so focused on gifts. I think I only asked Chris for like 2 things this Christmas. So, and the only thing I asked him for my birthday is just to, you know, pay my way to go to Austin, which is a big expense in itself. But before that, you know, I would ask for hundreds of dollars in things for my birthday. But this year for my birthday, I just want to go to KetoCon. So that's what I've asked for him. So moving forward. Number 9 is separation from God can feel very real, but it is never permanent. What can you do to get closer to God? And what I put, it's really simple. If you want to get closer to God, reading the word and attending church regularly gets me closer to God, but also prayer. And I'm talking prayer like getting on your knees in a quiet spot where no one knows you're praying type of prayer, not a let's, you know, take a timer and take a photo of me on Instagram showing that, you know, I'm praying. Like, we're not talking about that. We're talking about you getting in your closet on your knees and, you know, you getting on your knees and praying to God. So these are all the questions, and I found that it was a nice segue from talking about food issues and talking about some other core issues that are going on. And this is what you're going to learn in these step studies. Like, it goes beyond your addiction, and it goes into your underlying of who you are, what you want to be. So I am so I'm just blown away every single week, every single time I leave Celebrate Recovery, every time I leave my step study, I am just blown away. So I hope you guys enjoyed this update. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, comment anything you would like below, and I will talk to you guys all later. And when you guys are seeing this, I am currently in my step study, 7 p.m. So I always ask you guys for prayers when I'm in my study. So I'm going to ask you again for prayers tonight. So thank you guys again so much. And if you want to get caught up with my couponing content, I have a ton of content for you guys. So I will have my recent videos listed below as well. So I hope you guys have a beautiful evening and a beautiful week, and I will talk to you all later. Bye, guys.